Nigerian news doesn't unfold, it overlaps. Now, let's take some of the stories that trended over the week. Let's start in Abuja, because if governance had a soundtrack, it would be chanting Ole, Ole, Ole. Now, yes, Wike was trending after striking staff of the Federal Capital Territory Administration reportedly chased him as he exited through the back, chanting,
Ole! Ole!
Wike must go. And the line that really landed, Abuja no be rivers. The chant wasn't just shade, it was context. Because last week, FCTA workers began an indefinite strike over poor working conditions, welfare issues, 5 months of unpaid salaries, long outstanding promotion arrears, and what they described as internal sabotage, where more than 75% failed promotion exams under questionable circumstances. Now, the court adjourned the matter, which effectively meant no resolution, no work, and no silence. Now, let's widen the lens internationally. The US exports to Nigeria jumped by 60% despite Trump era tariffs. Now, tariffs are designed to mark or make trade expensive and unattractive. But Nigeria saw the tariff and they said, "Is that all, Mr. Trump?" Now, this increase didn't happen because Nigeria suddenly became richer. It happened because Nigerian demand didn't flinch. Energy products, machineries, food items prices went up, but consumption stayed strong. Now, economists say the surge highlights the inelastic nature of Nigeria's demand, even amazing currency pressures and rising import costs linked to the weakened naira. Analysts warn that while the increase benefits the US exporters, it could further strain Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves and widen the country's trade imbalance if export growth does not keep pace. Now, global economy says adjust. Nigeria, as usual, says endure. And back home, Lagos State reminded everyone that the endurance has limits. LRS warned tax defaulters that it will recover unpaid taxes directly from banks, employers, or any institution holding their funds. The tax authority stressed that the measure is not new but forms part of efforts to improve voluntary compliance and boost the state's internally generated revenue. For years, tax compliance in Lagos has been treated like a suggestion. Now it's sounding more like a raid. The message was clear. If you've been hiding your income, LIRS knows where it sleeps. And suddenly, people who never believed in government efficiency are praying it doesn't start working now. And next up, Turkey. President Tinubu stumbled and fell during a public appearance. He stood up, he continued the event. Physically, it ended there. But in Nigeria, as usual, nothing ever ends there. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's stumble occurred during an official welcome ceremony in Ankara, Turkey, as part of a state visit aimed at strengthening diplomatic and economic ties between Nigeria and Turkey. Social media turned one moment into a national debate about health, leadership, symbolism, and also succession. Because in Nigeria, politics, perception travels faster than fact, and every public moment becomes a political Roche test. And finally, the headline that never needs context. The Nigeria's power grid glitched again, sparking anger nationwide. And at this point, grid failure is no longer news, it's routine disruption. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, said the incident was caused by system disturbance on the national grid and that efforts were underway to restore supply. This latest outage adds to a series of grid collapses recorded in recent months, raising concerns over the reliability of Nigeria's power infrastructure. Homes went dark, businesses switched to generators and their solar power, and citizens asked the same old question: how is this still happening? And as usual, the grid collapses, officials promise restoration, and Nigerians adjust because at the end of the day, resilience has become the new infrastructure. So, here's this week's full picture. Workers are unpaid and protesting. Ministers are fighting unions. America is exporting more. Lagos is enforcing harder. And the president is steady again from Istanbul. And also, the lights are out. I'll be back again, same country, same contradictions. Hopefully, with electricity this time around. Deborah Ezeh for Business Day Television.